Hi and good afternoon, madam. My name is Luo Fei, and my metric number is 279-419. I will be the one in charge of explaining the ER diagram to you. So here first we have the branch with the attributes branch ID, branch contact number, and also the address. So the branch will first hire one-to-many customer, one-to-many cleaner, and we save the following data for the cleaner's ID, the name, contact number, age, and also the address. And we can also assume that the branch will consist of a lot of customer. That's why we put one to many customer. And also the following attributes are saved for the customer, which are the customer ID, customer name, customer location, and also customer contact number. The branch will provide cleaning services while the cleaner will handle them. The we say here that the branch provides one-to-many cleaning services, and one cleaner can only handle one cleaning service at one time. But the customer can request one-to-many services at one time, meaning that the customer can request different cleaner to handle different services for them. Let's say if the customer have different uh, houses or office or something, and um, they want to hire different cleaner, then yes, they can do that. And the cleaner, but only one cleaner can handle one of those services at one time. And then the cleaning services will also contain of these of the following attributes: the service ID, the service location, the service date, and also the service type. And after this, after the service has been completed, they will have payment, and one-to-one payment, meaning one service will require one payment. So here we have payment ID, the payment method, the payment date, the band name, the total payment, and so the payment status as attributes for the payment. And after that, the cleaning services will also have rating. The rating is for the customer to give review to the services that was done, that's handled by the cleaner, but the cleaner will also have the right to reply to the reviews. So we have the rating ID, the customer review, and the cleaner replies. So for the customer, it's mandatory for the customer to become a member or non-member. So for the assumptions, first one, branch can hire one-to-many cleaners and one cleaner can be hired in one branch. And second one, the branch consists of one-to-many customers and one customer can register one time. The next one is branch provide one-to-many cleaning services and one cleaning service can be provided by one branch. For the fourth one customer can request one-to-many cleaning services at the same time. One cleaning service will be given to one customer. The fifth one is our cleaning service is only available for house cleaning and house cleaning and office cleaning. And the sixth one is one cleaner can handle one and only one cleaning service. One cleaning service can be handled by one cleaner only. Next one is one cleaner service has one rating and only one rating given for one cleaning service. One cleaning service has one payment and the one payment will direct to the one cleaning service. And the payment will be released to specified cleaner after both the customer and cleaner has gave rating and feedback.
Selamat sejahtera, madam. My name is Howard and my matrix number is 277600. So for now, I will explain about the relational model. For the first entity of relational model from ELD diagram is branch entity with the branch ID, branch contact number, and branch address as a attribute. And the primary key for a branch entity is branch ID. So the second entity is cleaner entity with the cleaner ID, cleaner name, cleaner contact number, cleaner age, cleaner address, and branch ID as an attribute for cleaner entity. And the primary key is cleaner ID, and the foreign key is branch ID with the reference is branch entity with the branch ID. So the next entity is cleaning service entity, and with the service ID, service location, service date, service type, branch ID, and cleaner ID as an attribute for cleaning service entity with the primary key is service ID and the foreign key is branch ID with the reference branch entity and branch ID. And the next foreign key is cleaner ID with the reference cleaner entity with the cleaner ID. And the next entity is customer with dispute with the two part, which is non-member and member. So for non-member is non-member entity with the customer ID, customer name, customer location, customer contact number as the attribute, and with the primary key is customer ID. And the next is member entity with the customer ID, member ID, customer name, customer location, and customer contact number as an attribute. With the primary key is customer ID and member ID. So the next entity is rating. With the rating ID, customer review, cleaner reply, service ID, and with as the attribute, with the primary key is rating ID, with the foreign key is service ID, with the reference is cleaning service and the service ID. So the last one is the last entity is payment entity with the payment ID, payment method, payment date, bank name, total payment, payment status, and the service ID as an attribute. With the primary key is payment ID and the foreign key is service ID. So that's all from me. With this is the relational model. So thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Logayan and my matrix number is 2795548 and I will present about the normalization of the Avengers cleaning service. And first I will start with normalized form with the entity of cleaning service and this is the attribute we list down. As we can see, we list out all the primary key and the attribute we have. For example, the primary key we have is service ID, cleaner ID, customer ID, and branch ID. And the attribute we have, for example, is customer name, customer location, customer contact number, and cleaner name, and many more. And now we will move from unnormalized form to first normal form by remove repeating groups. In first normal form, we use the service ID and rating ID to be the primary key. Now we will remove the attributes such as service location, service date, service type, payment ID, payment method, payment date, bank name, total payment, and payment status from the cleaning service and put it down behind the service ID. And next, we will continue with the first normal form to second normal form that will remove partial dependency. From this part, we will copy the first normal form to the second normal form and then we will remove all the attributes except the branch ID, branch contact number, and branch address. And the service for the service will remain the same and then we will add the new one that is rating and we will put rating ID to be our primary key such as cleaner ID, customer name, customer location, customer contact number, cleaner name, cleaner contact number, and cleaner age, cleaner address, member ID, customer review, and cleaner reply. After that, we will continue with the second normal form to third normal form to remove transitive dependency. In third normal form, which we can see cleaning service have the service ID and rating ID to be their primary key and the attribute is branch ID, branch contact number, and branch address. And for the service, you can see the service ID is the primary key and the attribute we have service location, service date, service type, and the payment ID will be the origin key. And next will be the rating. The rating ID will be the primary key and the cleaner ID and customer ID will be the origin key and customer review and cleaner reply will be the attribute. And next one for the payment ID will be the primary key and the others will be the attribute such as payment method, payment date, bank name, total payment, payment status. The next one will be the cleaner. The cleaner ID will be the primary key and the cleaner name, cleaner contact number, cleaner age, cleaner address will be the attribute. And the last one will be a customer and the primary key is customer ID and member ID, customer name, customer location, customer contact number will be the attribute. And that's all from me. Thank you and I will pass it to next presenter.
I'll go away and my matrix number is 277900. here's our table relationship where according to the ERD and the normalization, the table relationship shows all the entities with their attributes, and all the entities are related or having relationship with the customer platform by their primary key. And I will pass to the next presenter.
I'm Kenneth Xue Singh and my matrix number is 278061. Now I'm going to present on my part table data. So from the third normal form mentioned earlier, we have 6 tables. The first table is cleaner, with cleaner ID as its primary key, cleaner name, cleaner number, cleaner age, cleaner address as its attributes. The next table is customer, with customer ID as its primary key, customer name, customer location, member ID, and customer contact number as its attributes. And the third table is service, with service ID as its primary key, service location, service date, service type as its attributes, and payment ID as its foreign key from the payment table. And the fourth table is payment, where we have payment ID as its primary key, bank name, payment date, total payment, payment method, payment status as its attributes. The fifth table is rating, with rating ID as its primary key, and its attributes are customer review and cleaner reply. Cleaner ID and customer ID are foreign keys from the cleaner and customer table respectively. And the last table is cleaning services, with service ID and rating ID as its primary key, and its attributes are branch contact number, branch address, and branch ID. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you.